Work hard dance.
Defers to Booker for the long range.
P-H-O-E-N-I-X. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. P-H-O-E-N-I-X. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing.
Welcome, everybody, to the Aussie Suns Fans podcast. I am your host, Gavin, and if you are checking us out on YouTube, do us a solid, hit the like button, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. If you're listening on one of the other platforms, I've just worked out how to reload them back up to Spotify, so we're all up and about and flying right now. We are joined, of course, by everyone's favourite Aussie Suns fan in Singapore. Nate, how you going, brother?
Good. Just drinking my coffee out of a Vegemite mug just to remind myself where I came from.
Lovely.
And I hit the Live Golf yesterday that's in Singapore at the moment. Had a great time. Another thing to remind you, you're still Australian, drinking at 9 o'clock in the morning.
That'll do it, my friend. Are you finding somewhere today to go and watch the Grand Prix?
I'll watch it at home, if not down the pub. Yep.
Lovely.
12 my time.
And, of course, everyone's favourite piece of shit, Boyd. How are you, my friend?
I'm going well, buddy. Sorry I couldn't make it last week. We had a cyclone, if you fucking call it that.
You had some rain and some wind. That's what you had.
Yeah. It was a bit of it hit pretty hard in certain spots, but it was the cleanup and just fucking packing everything up and then not copping the brunt of it that we're supposed to was a really annoying thing. But yeah, man, it was it's been a fucking good week. We've won a couple of games, but we still are horrible.
That's what we're calling a good week these days, is winning a couple of games.
Yeah. That's where we're at.
If you have any questions, if you're in the chat, if you've got any questions for us, the Aussies, shoot it through. We'll take a look at it, shoot it through on Twitter, whatever. Let's have a look at that week, Boyd, considering you've done a beautiful run-in for us there. The week in review, we started the week with a win against the Mavs, 125-116. Then back-to-back losses. The first one to the Grizz, 118-120. Then to Houston, 104-111. Before coming out and having a cracking victory yesterday against the Sacramento Kings, who had Domantas Sabonis back into the lineup when we had the win 122-106. Boyd, how did you see the week?
Yeah, look, again, I just watching that Mavs game, right? And we're playing a team that's so fucking so fucked. They're in tank mode now. Everyone's injured. They're talking about the coach playing. They're talking about forfeiting, for fuck's sake. And we go out there and we go fucking hammer and tong. I won't say that we went hammer and tong actually, because we just went out there and we bounced the ball around and fucking did our thing. Some plays looked really cool and it was really nice. And but we really struggled to fucking put that team away, which is just a bloody snapshot. That's just what our season has been. And then we go on and we take on who was that first upsetting loss against?
The
Grizzlies, undermanned without Jaren Jackson Jr. And we come out there and we're in a position here where we can dominate these guys physically. They were fucking short-handed, and we fucking sapped fucking Dunn and just let Ja Morant do his fucking thing, and he just raped us. I think it was a slow start for him too. But anyway, roll straight into that fucking Houston game. Now this is a game they had a couple of heads out as well, but still they're deep enough and young enough, vibrant, and play with pace, and they do all the things that are really our Achilles heels. And they fucking beat us as well, as per usual, regardless of how fucking good our fucking best player is, or our second best player, or our third. It doesn't fucking matter. And then we come out in this last game against the Kings, and fucking Sabonis does his hamstring again, which is fucking great. Fuck that cunt. I'd love to have him on the squad though, but fuck him. It's always good. That's just one of my highlights. But the main highlight being, we've got some youth back. We've got some fucking we're now vibrant all of a sudden, and I don't know fucking what triggered this to happen, guys. You tell me what. Our most decisive fucking win in fucking God knows how long. And it's in a game that also Iguodaro and fucking Ryan Dunn get major burn. And we fucking put these cunts away nicely. So I don't know, guys. What do you guys think of that?
Fuck, we've been asking for it for a few weeks now, haven't we? We didn't want to see Ryan Dunn also with more minutes.
Yes.
I mean, fuck. So we're on board with your comments there, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah, I think everyone's been shouting out for that for several weeks when our team looked flat and disengaged, just to put some kids in who will just be excited about playing basketball, because that's been the biggest problem with this team. Half of the team doesn't look like they're excited to play basketball. You inject these two young guys, and all of a sudden, even the older guys start to look like they're having fun playing basketball. Fuck's sake, all we want is this team to look like they're having fun playing basketball. Then we can enjoy it. Thanks to Darth Vader, about to head out to dinner with his wife, but wanted to just drop in that Boyd's a twat, Nate's a shorty, and I'm apparently the richest guy he knows. So that's pretty nice.
Thanks for the spray.
I've got no money, but he must mean I'm just rich in general, like, because I've got friends like you two.
Nice turnaround.
Yeah, I think that's why. Nate, how did you see the week?
Miserably, to be honest with you. I missed 2 games, and the only 2 games I saw from start to finish were the 2 fucking losses. So that kind of burns.
So the issue is you.
Let's not try. Let's not go back to that. I didn't place any bets this week, so you can't put that shit on me. I mentioned to you, I'm so frustrated that Nick Richards isn't getting any time. He's perfect for certain situations, and he's not on the floor. And he didn't even make the DNP list for the yesterday's game. He's not even in the list on NBA.com. Like, he didn't even warrant a DNP coach's decision. He's just left off it. So what the fuck did we trade him for? Why did we get him? Why did we bring him in if we're not going to play him?
I've explained this to you before, Nate. All right, I'm sick of you not listening to me.
Coach Bud sucking off
that trade,
waiting for the Cancun.
No, you're right. You're right. It's just really hard to understand when somebody's playing at that level and actually having input into the game. I just don't understand why they're not getting court time. But anyway.
Not to mention just pure matchups. When we're desperate for a W and you're not playing any of the matchups, and you give up a massive lead, we're up by 16 points or something in Memphis, and then we end up losing by 2, and they didn't really do anything with the matchups.
I hate blaming coaches, guys. I fucking hate it, because I don't think that all of our problems come from our coaching over the last 4 or 5 coaches that we've had the shaft. I think that all these guys have been better than what our team has sort of portrayed on the court. Now, the players do all of that, but you're right. Nick Richards, he came in and in fucking 19 minutes or whatever it was, had a double-double. And looking at a box score, you'd be like, oh, cool, yeah, that's nice for a full game. And he didn't play the second half. It's just,
he hasn't played since, I would think.
But we shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that I guess I'm gonna almost be nice. Hasn't he been basically out of the side since then, though?
Yeah.
Well, he's been injured.
Maybe he was injured. Maybe he was injured for that second half, and that's the reason he didn't play the second half.
Well,
but they didn't report it.
I would accept that. I would gladly accept that if we hadn't seen that same thing happen 4 or 5 times previous. Now, when he was first injected, it was the biggest fucking bump that we have like got on this team in fucking a couple of years. It just looked energized, re-energized, and it looked so fucking good. And then you could sort of accept that. He's playing into the fucking, the system and all that sort of stuff, and he's learning. Maybe ease him in a bit, but it's never gone full fucking tilt, and I don't see why. But we've got a coach whose famous saying is "play random," who has on numerous times said in press conferences, post-game presses, just going with me gut feel, just doing a lot of fucking random shit out there and fucking had a gut feel about this and then fucking went at it. Yeah, why not? So, yeah, that's frustrating as fuck. And I don't know, the guy must have just downloaded Twitter because all of a sudden we've got a game where our 2 rookies that the fucking Twitter has been burning the place down, trying to get them some fucking burn. And he's so it's like he's just downloaded, oh, fuck, I should be playing these camps. All right, fucking, well, that's random. Ah, shit. So, yeah, look, I don't know what's going on with the coaching. I don't think he'll be there next season. But, it's look, that
to the Nick Richards thing, which is what Steve just pointed out, they hadn't reported it until I just saw something popped up 31 minutes ago. Likely to play Sunday. He's been out with ankle soreness.
Yeah.
So I guess when you're watching the broadcasts, right, generally when somebody's out of the game for the remainder of the game, the Suns will report that to the sideline reporter and say, Nick Richards has got a bit of ankle soreness, guys, and he's not going to play the second half. They didn't report any of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking odd. It's really odd. But so look, I don't know. Look, I get it. Nick Richards, his defensive IQ isn't fully there. But he's never fucking going to get comfortable in a system if he's, left in the corner and fed fucking shit. And just
I think the bigger thing too, though, Boyd, is it's okay. Fair enough if he's bringing Plumlee in and we're closing out these games. The Grizz is a perfect example, right? If Plumlee's coming in and we're closing out those games and winning them because Plumlee's on the floor, because he's better defensively or whatever the case is, fine. But we're fucking losing these games.
We are.
Why not put Richards in, who's younger? Let him see what he can do because, and this was the argument with the rookies, right? We're losing anyway. Just fucking put them on the floor and let's see what they can do now.
Yeah.
Enough's enough.
Mate, it's like, okay, Mason Plumlee knows the system better. He's a higher IQ player. We get it. But he can't physically get to the spots that fucking Richards can. And so what do you want to do? Do you want to fucking put a guy in there that's just going to be mid consistently for you? Or do you want to put a guy in there who is going to be mid, he's going to be a bit, patchy, but ultimately he's going to be ingrained into he's going to get better game in, game out with them extra minutes, and his IQ will come within this team, as chemistry builds. It's just fucking infuriating me, man. It really fucking is.
Yeah, it's just frustrating now. It's just frustrating, but you're spot on. Look, exactly what you touched on, Boyd. The Mavs game, to be honest, of course we should have won it. We won it by 9. We should have won that game by bloody 40. By the end of the game, they were down to 6 active players or something on the bench, with a couple of players off with hamstring tightness and whatever. I mean, like you said, the Mavs are talking about forfeiting games of basketball, for fuck's sake. That Grizzlies game, and Nate, you called it. Actually, both of you called it. No Triple J, no Aldama, no Zach Edey. No, they had no size. And we just spent the entire time basically playing, let's use an Aussie phrase of bruise-free basketball where we didn't want to bang and crash with them, where we should have bullied the shit out of that team. We could have beaten them senseless because of the size difference and the actual advantage we had for once.
Yeah.
Then we go into Houston. Houston, we just played poorly.
Before you move off, though, they gave us every opportunity to pick a fight and bully them. I mean, they were having cracks at us left, right, and center. And then just to see, KD's reaction in the end is basically he just walks over to Jar and has a laugh about it with Jar. It's like there was an opportunity to get fired up and change the way they were playing that game, but they just didn't take it.
And then the game we decide to get fired up, our centre decides to get fired up and get physical, is against the biggest fucking meanest dude in the NBA and tries to punch on with Steven Adams. Where the fuck was that the game before, mate? That's where you should have been bashing people in the fucking head. The hell are you fighting Jason Momoa for? Fucking idiot. And then,
especially that early in the fucking game without a backup center, essentially.
Oh, Jesus. And then, of course, and if you're going to punch on with someone and get them thrown out, mate, Alperen Sengun is their best player and he's killing us. Fight with him.
Yeah, go
not fucking Steven Adams who doesn't score. Steven Adams doesn't score. He doesn't do nothing. What the fuck is wrong with? And then the game yesterday against the Kings was the type of basketball that we have repeatedly wanted to see our team play.
Man, hey.
We spread the floor well. We moved the ball well. We played a team game. It was bloody beautiful.
Did you see them little dump offs for cutters, like for our rookies?
Brilliant.
Going and
Why?
Dunking on cut?
Because the rookies were there with energy. So our offense played with fucking energy. God, it's more frustrating when we win a game like that and then have to watch the shit they dish out. Because the fact is we play the Lakers tomorrow and you can almost 100% guarantee that Bud's going to go back to that grinding. We've got to put the vets in because the Lakers have got too many vets and we've got to stop Luka somehow. So we can't put the kids in to play against them. I could see it coming from a mile away. We're going to end up seeing fucking Royce O'Neal and Devin Booker trying to cover Luka Doncic. Ryan Dunn covered Luka Doncic early in the season when we played the Mavs and fucking just played really, really well on him defensively. Let him do it. You know what? The kid's going to learn something out of it. So let him learn now. Same with Oso. Let him on the floor. Hey, Oso, this is a perfect game for Oso. But we're just going to have to watch Plumlee minutes because the Lakers have got no center.
Do you really think, just from what you've seen from Oso, do you think he's played in any stretch worse than Plumlee?
No,
I don't. Well, I don't physically. I don't really. I don't know if it's me just getting
caught
up in the hype, in the energy, in the fucking.
It is. And I think it is. If we see, this is the Colin Gillespie thing to me, right? If we seen Oso in really long extended minutes, we'd see the gaps in his game.
Yeah, of course. But
if we saw him in the Plumlee type minutes,
we see them and we accept them with Plumlee because he is what he is. I feel like there's a certain level of acceptance for Plumlee.
But where the team is, again, if we're sitting and fighting for a top 4 spot in the West right now, I get it. I understand the Plumlee thing. But we're not even in the fucking play-in. Bud, let's be honest, if you're going to keep your job next season, there's a chance you might. If KD gets traded, I think he keeps his job. If KD doesn't get traded, Bud's gone. That's kind of where I sit. But Bud, you've got an opportunity to play the future of this team and what it's going to look like forward, or iterations of what it's going to look like moving forward, and you're taking that away from not only them but yourself. Anyway, frustrating.
So in that game against the Kings, we were up like 20 odd, right? At one stage, I think it was 19 or something. I was looking at, and this can be my stat of the week from that I don't really do, but it's just something that I was looking at, and it really fucking jumped out at me. It's a record that we're currently setting statistically, and so our current defensive the defensive rating is about 115, 116 per game, which is horrible. It's in the bottom end of the league, right? And that's that's for the whole season. So it's not just recently. It's been way worse recently. But our second half defensive rating, if what I was reading was true, is on pace to set a record for the worst recorded defensive rating for second half of games ever recorded at like 126 or 127 pace per 100 possessions of us receiving. And look, and you look at yesterday's game, and we held onto the ball really well. Our offense, we often shoot, a significantly higher field goal percentage than our oppositions. We just turn the ball over. So many live ball turnovers that turn into all these extra possessions for the for whoever we're playing on that night. Now, you look at that, but that first half, we kept that thing on a string. And then getting, I think towards the end of the second quarter and into the third, we just started going back to the way that we used to be, it feels like. And but that defensive rating, 126 in the second half, setting a record. There we are, boys. We're fucking, we've got accolades coming. Don't you worry.
One thing that we can do is break some records, eh? Always in the negative sense. Anyway, it was another frustrating week. The Mavs are doing everything they can to hand us this last spot in the play-in. Every time I think that we're going to easily overtake them and move into it, we completely fucking screw the pooch. We beat them, close the game. The following day, the Mavs lose again. The following day, we had the Grizzlies. We could have won, kept that there. Somehow the Mavs beat the Spurs. We're just fucking.
Hey, you know what's funny? They've lost, like, they did a bonehead trade, and then they, AD goes down, and all people dropping like flies. I think that they really want to keep their pick this year, and I think there's a protection that they're trying to fucking.
Do you want to know what's going to happen? Just because it's going to beautifully impact the Phoenix Suns. What's going to happen is it's going to come down to the last couple of games of the season, maybe even the last night of the season, and DeAndre Ayton's going to hit a fucking valley-oop to put Portland into the play-in over the Suns. That's what'll happen. Just because that's how it works for us.
You're a statistic.
At the moment this year.
You're fucked. You're fucking.
Remember the conspiracy theory about the Luka and AD trade, where they think they were deliberately tanking the team to make the fans hate the team so they could relocate it to Vegas?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
The more and more you watch this team this season, it's more and more plausible because look at what's happening.
It's true that they may come out at the end of the season and just go, hey, look, the team couldn't even finish the season off. We've got to move them.
Yeah, we've got to move them. The state's already got 3 teams. Just fucking
maybe Nico Harrison has secretly gotten the extraordinaire bloody ex-Kings GM Vlade Divac as his new consultant or something. And all of a sudden, shit just fucking spiraled. Vlade back up to his old tricks.
You know what? You know, Boyd. After the last couple of weeks, this is my juice right here, boys. Keep the conspiracy theories coming up. I love them. Right now, this is all we want to talk about is the conspiracies moving forward. Who was your player of the week, Boyd?
Oh, player of the week. Player of the week. Player of the week. I can't get over the fucking the rookies, man. Can I just say the rookies just for showing? I'm just gonna say the rookies because both of them were. I'll give it to Osso. I'll give it to Osso for his one game. I think he might have played some spot minutes in another game. I'll give it to Osso because he's just been fucking come in from not DNPs constantly.
Didn't he play when he would have played some decent minutes when Plumlee got ejected the first game?
Yeah, so I think there's been two 2. Is it 2 or 3 games that he's played?
2. He
In
played
it-
28
in any
minutes.
case.
28
Hasn't been
minutes
significant.
against Houston. 28 minutes against Houston. 4 from 4 from the floor. 6 rebounds. 4 blocks.
Yeah,
And 8 for 8 points.
but it's not. It's not
And
just.
then Sacramento.
It's not the counting numbers with him. Is that he's just been left out in the cold for so long. I know he's got some G League stints, but he's come back into a team that is, backs against the wall, struggling for chemistry, and he is just fucking getting on with business. The amount of fucking flexes that between him and Dunn, the amount of flexes post dunking or just post, hey, not just after a big dunk, just after a fucking good play, a fucking flex, a run back, a fucking let's fucking get some fucking eyes on the teammate that you just had this really cool synergy with, and let's give him a tap on the bum or a fucking hell yeah. It just, I can feel it from my fucking, it's coming through my television screen.
It's in your soul. It's in your soul.
It's in my fucking loins, man. And it's when these two are on the court, and fucking bravo to them. They're both getting the player of the week, but I'll give it to Osso more so.
Yep, Bud just out there increasing their trade value for the off-season. Nate, who was your player of the week?
I'm going to give you a real surprising one. Based on the premise of player of the week being the person that contributed most to winning, and nobody fucking deserves it. Not even going to give the fucking award out this week. I was going to give it to Plumlee for at least, being that dog that we've been hoping to watch for, but it didn't contribute to winning, so nobody gets it from me this week. Just going to live in my misery and move on to the other subjects.
Weak as piss, mate.
Thanks, mate.
One thing I will say, Gav, is that at least
yeah.
he's got a reason for this week, and it's not just because he hasn't thought about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He has done a couple of those. Coda Kid's right. You're a party pooper. My player of the week. I was looking at the week as a whole. I like the contributing to winning thing. I think the person who contributed to the 2 wins the most was Devin Booker. But he just frustrated me so much in the 2 losses. Kevin Durant had a 35-point game or whatever he had and was pretty Kevin Durant on offense. Apart from his has more turnovers than assists and doesn't run back after he turns the ball over. I'm actually going to go with Boyd because I think it made it the most fun this week was watching those 2 rookies out there and running around. So I'm also going to go with Oso Ighodaro just for the fact that he gave us something he gave us back a little bit of hope. There's something there with this kid. His impact on the team when he does get the opportunity to hit the floor, he's as good as any of the young centers currently going around. Like you look at Alex Sarr, you look at Riska Shea, and like these taller type kids that are around and people are blowing wind up their asses. The one who, like Zach Edey's been really solid this year, but nothing too spectacular. The best of the centers in this rookie class, I think, has been Yves Missy from the Pelicans. But what Oso does is gives us a little bit of excitement of what we can see. Because I look at if the roster stays the way it is, if Ishbia's comments from during the week are exactly what he's planning to do, because he kind of still suggested that keeping this team competitive around Book and KD is where he wants to go. Oso is the perfect type of center for those 2 to play. It's not the big, slow, loping center. That's why Suns fans have been so frustrated. Guys like Plumlee, guys like Nurkic, they don't fit how this team would play around Booker and KD. These guys are just getting in the way, if you're being honest. Whereas Oso hits the dunker's spot, he's moving around the floor. For somebody who can't shoot the 3, he's been able to spread the floor a little bit. And then he's explosive going towards the basket. On defense, he's competitive. He's not like Plumlee, who played in the drop for some fucking reason while his opponent was smoking threes in the Grizzlies game. I think it was the Grizzlies game. Then he did it again in the Houston game. Oso's getting around the floor better, moving around the floor better. I enjoyed watching him play this week. So giving some hope back. I'm with Boyd, and I'm going with Oso this week. So Oso, you're our Aussie Suns Fans Player of the Week.
Did you guys notice the amount of the active hands? The hands just, we're not big enough to get rebounds, but there was always the second chance opportunities were all being cashed in on, because these guys started and then other guys sort of chime in and start fucking joining the party. I saw it was multiple times I saw Ryan Dunn and also Iguodaro hassling these guys, whereas previously it'd just be a fucking straight up offensive rebound to a fucking an instant putback, and everyone would just be lagging off. These guys are in there and just making it tough and giving us second chance opportunities, whereas previously we wouldn't even get them, and it would amount to points against. And it's just been really, really cool.
And you're back with us, Gavin.
Who needs to pull their finger out? Boyd.
The whole fucking team, mate.
I'll just say, there's not really. Yeah, there's not really one in particular. It seems like every other game it's a different guy. I want to say Royce for some reason, with no real reasoning behind it. I think it's just been it's just a team, man. Coach Bud, fuck it. Coach Bud needs to pull his fucking finger out of his ass and just log on to Twitter and just check the vibes every now and then, because he is random. He's random, and he does go with his gut feel. Maybe if he just fucking logs on every now and then, his gut feel might start being correct. I don't know.
I had Coach Bud down here for my flog, and then I've crossed it out, and then I wrote with a pull your finger out at Coach Bud, and then I've crossed that out, and then I wrote with the whole fucking team at this point.
Well, you can't when we're coming off that win.
So that's So Boyd, you've got Coach Bud.
Yeah, Coach Bud.
And Nate, you've got the whole fucking team. Right. Well, I just need to pull up one more number here to support my one. Just because it is getting out of control, and it is now just frustrating the living shit out of me. So the Phoenix Suns had 54 turnovers this week in the 4 games that we played. 54 turnovers.
Seems a bit light.
And how many were correct?
Kevin Durant had 18 of those turnovers. 6, 3, 5, 4. And doesn't chase the ball, just drops his head like it's everybody else's fault because he passed the ball fucking lazily. Dude, if you are fair income about wanting to get into the playoffs and all that sort of shit and fixing the body language and not being challenged by fans, it's those moments when you lazily pass the ball out of a double team and turn it over and then drop your head and walk back down the court. It's that shit there that infuriates people, because it was you that turned it over, not everyone else. So why does everyone else have to hustle back on defense and clean up your fuck up?
Hey, good point, Gav, because, and it's something that it's a stat that I can't find. But I think that his number would be particularly high, and that's the individual. So you can look at points off of turnovers, but it's hard to nail it down to an individual player, which it's been annoying me because I feel exactly the same way. Like his are amplified because it's either barking at the refs or fucking sad about it, and he's not back there to fucking clean up his own shit. It's really, really annoying. So yeah, regardless of how good you are offensively, and we have to say, regardless, we have to preface everything before we talk.
One of the greatest players of all time.
Yes, because he's very, 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 very sensitive, right? So one of the greatest offensive players to ever do it. And when he's in a half-court setting and he's already there, he's fucking great defensively too. I mean, he's leading us for blocks this season. But when our main issue is it's all that stuff you're talking. It's all that effort stuff. It's the energy stuff. It's possessions, and it's points off of turnovers, and it's that transition defense. Every single one of his are doing exactly what is our main issue. Yeah,
and easy points. It ends up in results in easy points, and it always happens when the opposition team is on that run, whether we're in front or behind. When the opposition team has all of that momentum, and I get it, they're on a run or whatever, and that can be energy sapping as a defensive team and a team that's on the other end of it. But if you're going to give that easy shit up when they're already on a run, it becomes a hell of a lot fucking worse. And it looks worse, and it's frustrating as fuck to watch. So they're the things that if you clean that up, like, to be honest, there was one yesterday against the Kings where he got the ball in the post. The defensive player under the ring came up, double-teamed him. He half passed it. We were up by 16. I think it was when we were up by a lot. But they'd started to get a run on. They'd scored like 8 straight points. He passed it directly into the hand of the opposition player, walked up the floor. They went down and scored again to make it a 10-point run. And I think it might have been an and one to Keon, what's his face? Keon Ellis. And I'm just sitting there going, you had enough time there. Just like, honestly, reach in, cause a foul. Just stop the momentum of the ball after you've given it up.
Yeah.
But instead you threw your head back, then slowly jogged up the court, and Bradley Beal had to go 3-on-1 because of your fuck up. Now that's what pisses me off.
It's that not fair moment. It's that not fair moment.
Fair. It's not fair. Leave him alone.
Give me the superstar calls, guys. Give me, even if it's not even a fouling situation, just fucking do something. Do something. That not fair moment. Hashtag not fair. And you're spot on. It's the mindset piece of it that is so frustrating. But anyway, week ahead, gents. We've got the Lakers on tomorrow in LA, and then we start I think it's a 5-game home slate. But this week's games are the Raptors on Tuesday, Chicago on Thursday, Cleveland on Saturday. Guys, that is Australian times, not US times. How do you see this week playing out, Nate?
Let's start with the high level down. 3 wins, 1 loss. Kind of in line with my pull your finger out. The whole team has to fucking pull its finger out. We can't afford losses anymore. We're still 2 games behind, about to quickly drop Dallas. And you're right in saying we've got Portland on our ass, who might just try to get to the plane. So we can't afford to let up. I think Lakers, Toronto, and Chicago are actually winnable games if the team just pulls together and does what it's supposed to. And I think Cleveland will give us an absolute fucking hiding.
Boyd?
They all should be fucking very winnable games, Nate. This is what we're talking.
They should be. But...
We're sitting here, man, and we're talking about fucking Chicago and Toronto. Like, fuck, well, they're winnable, but we don't know. We just don't know. This is bad. But I'm going to give you 4 wins, 4 W's, and I'll tell you why. Because the first 3 games are very fucking winnable. No LeBron James. Ingram hasn't started for Toronto yet, but and then who's the Bulls? The Bulls are a
Chicago, yeah.
They're a shit show. And look, I just think I just think that we con ourselves into enough fucking that we're fucking good enough. I'm talking about the team here. They con themselves that they're fucking good enough to beat the Cavs, and we go out there and we win all 4 in a row. Because a lot of this shit's mental, right? I mean, and if they're coming
it absolutely is. The fact is, and we spoke about it the last 2 weeks, right? I spoke about it with you, Boyd, 2 weeks ago. I spoke about it with you last week, Nate. When we're not overly injured, we're pretty healthy as a team, and the fact remains that we are a pretty fucking damn good team if we play basketball like we did yesterday. If they play these 4 games the way they played yesterday, it wouldn't surprise me if we won all 4. The problem is that's not what we get on a nightly basis with this team. One day they rock up ready to roll, ready to play. Bud puts the kids in, so we get a bit of excitement. We get a bit of energy. Then all of a sudden we get the fucking flat guys, the flat effort. Everybody looks drained. Everybody looks disengaged. That's what it all come out against. Probably, either the Raptors or Chicago, and we'll lose one of those 2 games because the guys won't give a fuck. That's the frustrating thing.
Yeah, so I've got the mental thing getting like them tricking themselves into thinking that it is all fucking good, and it's 4 wins. And how many have you got? You got 3 and 1, have you, Gav?
I'm gonna go with 3 and 1 as well. I was very, very close to going 2 and 2, and just saying that that Luca will. There is no way they would let us down. They've let us down all fucking year. Jesus.
Hey, Donnie's on a roll there. Well done.
I love it, Donnie. Well done. Okay, so my biggest issue for the Lakers game and the Cleveland game is these guys that Book gets compared to or are considered rivals for Book. This year he hasn't stepped up in those games. He hasn't been able to maintain the mantle as the number 1 shooting guard in the NBA in those one-on-one matchups this year. Every time he's played in them, he's been outplayed. When we played Cleveland the first time, Donovan Mitchell torched us. Both times he's played Ant's torched us, or the 3 times, maybe 4 times we played Ant. What I wanted this week out of Devin Booker, and maybe I should have put him in for pull your finger out. You've got 2 guys this week that are massive in that one-on-one type battle, Book. We've got to see you step up against the Lakers, and we've got to see you step up against Cleveland. That's how we win those games. We don't want it to go into the monotonous bullshit where KD scores 28 to 30 points, turns the ball over 7 times. I see that Book's been pushing up his 10, 11 assists a game. That's great, Book, but we kind of need you hovering around 30 points a game, not around 22. 30 points a game with 7 or 8 assists is when you're at your best. We don't need Devin Booker getting triple doubles. He needs 34, 8, and 4. That's what we need from you. That's when you have the most impact on the result of this team, Book. That's what I want to see. So I'm going to go 3 and 1 and hope that Book steps up against the Lakers because they got no center. So Plumlee's just going to have a field day because that's what he did against the other team that didn't have a center.
And Nick Richards might get a minute.
Well, he'll probably get a few minutes in the first half and then not so many in the second half. It's generally the way that'll play out. I didn't see any Ask the Aussies questions, so we can move on from there and we can ask Boyd a very, very important question.
I would kill everyone in this room for a drop of sweet beer.
So, Homer, please feel free to tell us anything.
Who do you want to have a beer with, Boyd, and what type of beer would that be?
I think one of you guys had this one last week when I wasn't here. It's Colin Gillespie. It's Colin.
Yeah, I think Nate had the old Colin
Yeah.
last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was singing his praises last week.
Yeah, it's Colin. Now he's he's one of our two ways, right? Is he
No, is he a two-way?
is he
No,
two-way?
he's,
No, 'cause
yeah.
we got him from Denver.
No,
We got him from Denver.
no,
when
no,
we
he's a
signed.
two-way. No,
Okay.
he's a two-way.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was looking at our stat sheet the other day, and I looked at all the names that aren't on there, all the players. You know, the one that I shared from Bobby Marks, the cap sheet for the off season.
Yeah.
And I looked there, and I just saw Colin's name there as a two-way, and I just went, he's one of the guys that I want signed, and in our rotation next season, regardless of what we end up doing with the big three. I think he's our point guard of the future. So I want to have a beer with him, and I want to talk to him about. I want to get his insight on what it's like, and how, or what it's like playing with our big three, and and just in general, I just probably want to give him a bit of a wristy as well. I suppose I'm that much in love with Colin at the moment, but it's Colin for me, and it's just a great Northern as per usual.
Nate,
I want to have a beer with the bloke that took down Aquaman. Like I said earlier, I almost had him as my player of the week, but we talk about needing a dog, needing someone to actually lead the aggression, and watching him take on, like you said, the biggest bloke in the NBA by muscle mass, and then literally take him to the floor, cop a headbutt, walk off still grunting, bleeding from the forehead. I reckon he deserves a fucking beer with me. Yeah, because I think that much of myself. To his credit too, when they tried to interview him about the scuffle, his only comment was, "Let's talk about Sacramento." Didn't give it any time of the day. Done, move on. And that's pretty commendable, because some guys would just take the media attention and have a cry, have a whinge, throw some spray, but he didn't.
I just like that he continually wants to punch on with Stephen Adams after, like, early in both of their careers, I guess. Maybe not early in the careers, but Stephen Adams basically saved his life when he jumped over the top and nearly landed on his head, and Stephen Adams caught him. Now Plumlee just runs out every week trying to fucking forearm him in the head.
Huh?
So it's nice of him. My beer, I'm going to have a nice, crisp, I'm going to say better beer, only because they were the sponsors of Meat Stock, which was held in Victoria yesterday. I was able to attend. Thank you to our friend, Mr. Ashley Shaw from the Aussie Suns Fans group, who hooked me up with tickets, and I was able to go and enjoy a very enjoyable day at Meat Stock.
All the smoked
Thanks
barbecue,
to Ash.
baby.
All the Smoke Barbecue. Make sure you check them out on Facebook and all of that, all of your good social media platforms, all the Smoke Barbecue. But Ash Shaw, shout out to you. Let's grab a better beer together, because that was bloody nice of you to organise those tickets for me. I really enjoyed it. It was a good day. Nate.
Fuck that guy.
Who made you sit back this week and go, you know what? Fuck that guy.
I just want to reference something from that clip. The last clip you've got there was it Dior? Shit, I forgot his name. Not Dior. The one that coat-hanged Kobe Bryant. They just had that clip at the start of, I started watching the SAC game before we jumped on, and they were referencing which was a harder hit, that one or when Plumlee took down Stephen Adams. So how convenient that was in there. For me, fuck that guy. There was actually one person watching the games this week that made me go, fuck that guy. And that was the Memphis rookie, Cam the Lisp Spencer, for his over bravado on Kevin Durant just because he hit a three. What a tosser.
Yeah, but he ended up winning the game.
And you're mouthing off.
Yeah. Yeah, he was an absolute fucking tool bag. There's no doubt about it. But KD, if you want to get in those with a rookie, at least fucking beat him.
You're really not on KD this week, are you?
Oh yeah, well I'm of the same. So I'm going with quite the opposite. And
You're going with KD for getting sucked into fucking that wanker?
Well, what was one of the things he said? And I thought it was just like, fucking shut up, man. It was something like I'm cooking N-words. And
Yeah.
he said, oh, I'm cooking. I think we were losing at the time. Or
Yeah, we were.
they'll want to run or something like that. They'll want to run and just took the lead. And yeah, man, that's where your fucking head's at. Just about you. And it just sort of doubles down on that. You know, he's got to look good out there. He's about getting his. But yeah, it's just fucking stop being a flog and fucking win us some games, cunt.
Yes,
So
that is my point.
Who is the fuck that guy? Is it Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. From Coda Kid, Flog of the Week's Bella from Twilight. Why? What did Bella do? I don't really care about Twilight, to be brutally honest. But
We should
anyway,
glue the locker room.
yes. Shit, I had one. No, I am going to go with, and only because he's in here every week and he reminds us, and we have to play the Lakers tomorrow. It's always Luka. This week, fuck that guy. Just fuck that guy.
This is the preemptive fuck that guy.
Please don't let us fucking lose to Luka and the Lakers, please. Suns, I know you're getting on the plane today to fly to LA. Please don't let us lose to fucking Luka and the Lakers. Please. Anything else? Like this year's been painful enough. If we have to put up with that shit this week, I'm going to not be very pleased. I guess.
I've got another fuck that guy. It just jumped in my head. Fanning the Flames podcast for fucking. I jumped in there like fucking 40 minutes early the other day, and they were late. And then they talked a little bit about the Suns, and then talked about fucking. I think it was baseball for fucking ever. And I nearly fucking tore my fucking ears off my head. It was that fucking painful. That fucking American cricket. It was fucking
American cricket.
American cricket. Fuck me.
So which one are you saying fuck that guy to? Who started it?
Oh, I think it was Dan. Oh, and then when I told him to fucking pipe down on the fucking American cricket shit, Dan told me to fuck off, and I went, fuck, I can't say anything back to him.
So it's a fuck that. Your fuck that guy is Dan Duarte.
Yeah.
Is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
All right, we'll clip this and send it to him so that he knows. Coda Kids said he's on Dan's side, which is probably fair enough. Because when you get in the fucking chat, actually, and I've got another fuck that guy. You fucking claimed you were in the middle of a fucking cyclone last week and you couldn't join us on the pod, and you sat in the fucking chat being the most annoying fucking piece of shit ever in the history of the world, making fucking comments at me and Nate, who were sitting there trying to carry the fucking can for your dumbass, who was too fucking cowardly to join us. That made me on last Sunday go, you know what? Fuck that guy.
Hey, in my defense,
no defense.
You guys brought a lot of light to what was a very dark weekend for me in my cyclone, and I got a lot of giggles out of my really fucking childish comments that I was making.
That's it.
In the chat.
But that's the fucking point. That's the point. Your giggles. You were laughing at yourself. You fucking knob.
I have to, mate.
Fucking didn't get any amusement out of the show, just your own comments in the chat.
and here's the thing. I know I was in the chat, but I was fucking in between doing shit the whole time. So it was I couldn't be a part of that show, even if I wanted to.
Bullshit. The entire fucking chat is just a run. If you go back, anyone wants to go and watch last week's show, it's just fucking Boyd's messages, just one after the other. I got halfway through the show and just stopped sharing your shit because I got sick of it.
Everyone does that, man. It's all good. It's all good.
Not everyone does that. You do that.
No, everyone does it. No, everyone does it. Hey, before we wrap the show up,
yes,
I just want to. I've brought this up a couple of times, but do you guys think that we can do another trade when available, when our 2033 first round pick is available? Do you think that we can do what we did with the 2031 pick and get multiple shitty firsts for it? Was this a fucking lightning in a bottle, or can we fucking do that again? And then just fucking get another
sure we
Osso,
can.
and then just draft like Ryan Dunn's and also Iguodala's in the second and late first round.
I'm sure we
Right.
can do that.
Yeah,
I'm sure we can.
All right.
And
Might be
that's
time
what
for
we
you to,
needed to bring
just-
up at the end of this episode.
Yeah, just
Something
get
that
on
can't happen the next
get on
season.
Twitter. Get on Twitter. Send a DM to Mr. Ishbia and tell him
Yeah, I will.
you've got it all sorted. You've got it all
Yeah.
sorted. Because James Jones can pick talent low down with low draft picks. That's certainly one thing he can do. Before we do wrap up, just to touch on RIP to the big O Oliver Miller, who obviously during the 90s and 92-93 season and around that period always gave some joy to Suns fans, especially to some Australian Suns fans and generally fat basketball fans out there everywhere who thought, hey, if he can do it, I can do it and become an NBA professional. So he was always fun to watch, the Big O. So RIP to the Big O and condolences out to the Suns world for the passing of Oliver Miller.
I hope he's having a fat time wherever he is right now.
Love that guy. Nate, last comments. Where can we find you?
Fuck, I hope it's a better week of basketball. At Nicky's Falcon.
Boyd.
On the Twitter, you can get me at Buds83, at Aussie Suns Fans on the Instagrams, and at Fucko on a mystery platform.
Follow us at Aussie Suns Fans on Twitter, Instagram, like Boyd said, YouTube, all of the Blue Sky, which I haven't been on for fucking ages.
Same.
I don't even know if it's called Blue Sky anymore. King Nacho. He snuck in late. He snuck in late. We got him here.
King Nacho.
Follow us at all those platforms. like, subscribe on all of your podcasting platforms and on YouTube. Of course, we need your King Nacho. Get on there. We want to see your subscription on our YouTube channel. Get on, like, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. Boyd?
One more thing. Can I do one more thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That Eric guy on PHNX is a
Eric
usually
Penny?
usually really good. I like the guy, but fucking flog in his fucking, and King Nacho just reminded me of it. He jumped on there and done like a 20-minute rant on that article that Tim McMahon brought out on the Suns, and then on Bradley Beal's comments around fucking having his no trade clause.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, he went on and he sort of had a dig at fucking Bradley Beal about everything that he said, and sort of questioned his willingness to fucking do whatever it takes to win on the Suns. And I thought it was ridiculous, and he's really reaching and trying to find reasons to fucking dump down on Bradley Beal. And Bradley Beal's a fucking saint. Yeah, Bradley Beal's a fucking saint, and he is the future of the Phoenix Suns, whether we like it or not, for the next couple of years at least. And he doesn't do fucking fuck all wrong. Leave him alone. Leave Bradley alone.
He has a crack. Like, subscribe, all that sort of shit. I'll say it again, just in case you forgot, since Boyd went on his additional rant there. At Aussie Suns Fans, we appreciate everyone jumping in the chat as per usual. Had a ball catching up with you guys, as we always do. It's always cathartic to get on and chat with you guys, have a laugh, and enjoy it. America, Phoenix, I will see you on the 11th of April. Looking forward to it. If you get to the Spurs game, shout out. You'll see me there. I'll probably be walking around making a menace of myself.
You've got to catch up with Coda.
Coda, come to the Spurs game on the 11th. The way the Suns are performing at the moment, we'll be out of the play-in, so tickets will be very, very cheap. I'm hoping that if it keeps going this way and we have to go through this pain, that's fine. because maybe I might get courtside seats for like $500 US, which would be great. I've always had a bucket list of sitting courtside at the Suns, so that'd be wonderful. Come along and see Benchley Beal at the No Trade Clause Arena on the 11th of April as we take on the Spurs. And then we will organise a watch party on the Sunday with a few of our podcasting friends from over there. So I've sent some messages out that typical of podcasters in Suns world. Everybody's a little non-committal at the moment, but I will try and organise a venue, get that out so that everyone knows where we're going to be. But the Sacramento game's the last game of the regular season. I will still be in Phoenix, so hoping we can catch up with a big group of people and watch a game together, maybe at Marley's, who knows. The great thing about when we catch up, as is always the case, we proved today that when Aussies follow the Phoenix Suns, we're not here to fuck spiders.
Pierre Cardin.
Defers to Booker for the long range.
P-H-O-E-N-I-X. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. P-H-O-E-N-I-X. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring.